Hello everyone and welcome to the spoiler thoughts on Star Wars The Acolyte Episode 3. We're just going to jump right into a lot of the smaller ones because I know that there is a rather large topic that we need to go over. So, like I said in the last video, or in the spoiler-free video, I'm really confused by this episode. It does not feel like we got the full story of what happened on Brendok. This just feels like it's partly from the girls' perspective. And I'm still confused. It's still confused as can be. There's no way, to me, that May's little fire that she started to kill her sister, her twin sister, who she doesn't want to leave, which, holy crap, this kid is psycho. This kid is genuinely psycho. I refuse to believe that fire is what killed the whole coven. I don't think what happened is solely May's responsibility. I still feel like the Jedi did something. Something happened. There's something Saul and them are hiding. There was a reason Torben felt so damn guilty that he decided to kill himself. And if it was just, hey, this little friggin' 12-year-old, 8-year-old, I don't even know how old she's supposed to be, caused a fire, it killed a whole bunch of people. No. There's got to be another flashback episode or flashback scenes or something. I refuse to believe that that's just it. Then, and another thing, again, unless there's going to be more to this, I still feel like they're wasting Carrie Ann Moss. She's here, but she doesn't do much. She did more than she did in the first episode, so there's that. But, I still don't feel like they would have paid to get Carrie Ann Moss for as little as she's doing in this series. Looking to see if I got anything else. A lot of my, gripes just had to do with, how confusing this episode is. But now, the big one. And I kind of alluded to this in the spoiler-free video. If y'all have seen the episode, you know what I'm about to talk about. And no, I'm not going to talk about it in the way that probably a chunk of the internet is mad about it. I'm going to talk about it strictly from a lore perspective, because that's what I care about more. And honestly, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you are that angry and butthurt over stuff like this in a science fiction show, if you are angry at butthurt at one way you could take this whole thing that I'm about to talk about, if you are that upset about it, maybe just quit. Maybe just quit altogether. Or, really evaluate your life. Because there's no reason to get that fiery and upset over something as insignificant as this. Yes, I'm calling Star Wars insignificant. As much as I love it, as much of an impact as it's had on my life, it's still a fictional thing. There are real world things to be mad about, for God's sake. Anyway, the topic I am going to talk about with the 5 minutes that I have left. They have no father. The girls don't have a father. I don't think she's meaning it in a metaphorical sense. I think Mother Anastasia is being very literal. And I think they very much hint to that during the parental rights argument. That's what I'm calling it. When Coral's like, I carried them, and Anastasia goes, I created them. Which then leads me into what I think they're implying here is that this coven of witches managed to do something that Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious, two of the most powerful dark side users in canon currently, couldn't do, which was manipulate the Force to create living beings. I think that's what they're going with. And honestly, I'm kind of annoyed, because that's not how it's supposed to work. Like, I think they established well beforehand that kind of power, it doesn't work. Like, and honestly, I think, and granted, I hear some of you going, well, that was just in the Darth Plagueis novel, which is not canon anymore. And I get that. I really do. A mistake, in my opinion. But still. Okay, and not only that, not only does it mess with something that's no longer canon, it calls again into questioning, kind of like Rise of Skywalker did, the whole prophecy of the Chosen One. Now, granted, I think some of that is still valid, because Anakin's conception was by the will of the Force. The Force was not manipulated. The Force chose to do it. Whereas, obviously, in this case, the Force was manipulated. I don't think the Force can be manipulated like that. And for somebody who really has a whole thing about power and those using it, that I don't think that's power you should be messing with there, Anastasia. You do you, but now. But like, it calls into the question this whole prophecy of, the one conceived by the Force. Could these two have counted? How does this prophecy apply to them? Because they were, through Force manipulation, conceived by the Force. And I think it just muddies and messes with things even more and confuses people. And I'm not liking it. I'm sorry. I feel like this is them continuing to screw with the lore. I feel like it is. That's my opinion. You may feel free to have a different opinion. And that's fine. Like, I'm not going to come after you for having a different opinion. Please don't come after me. I'm just a freaking nerd in Ohio that likes stuff. But, like, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not, like, irate as probably most of the internet is. Like, I definitely don't like it. I don't think it's a concept that should have been done. And I'm not irate for the same reasons that other people are. And if I do touch on it a little bit, honestly, it's hard not to, I don't think it's hard, I think it's getting hard to argue with the ones that want to say this show is trying to push a certain message. I can see why people would think that. I didn't take it that way. But I can see why they would. And it's a little hard to argue. Again, I'm not taking it that way. But I definitely can understand why people would. But, like I said, I'm coming at it strictly from a lore and story perspective. And right now I feel like this just muddies the waters even more and screws with pre-established lore. Again, my opinion. Like I said in the last video, if y'all are gonna, like, bring your own thoughts or talk about it, please be nice, be civil. There's a lot of toxic shit in the world. We don't need to add to it. Anyway, you guys have a good day. I might see you next week for the next one. I don't know yet. Y'all have a good one.